Right, Melbourne sitting at 12 degrees this morning while Hobart S already hit 15. Yeah, you heard that right. Is your suburb about to cop the wettest week we've seen in months, or are you looking at another week of dry, dusty conditions? Currently, the Bureau of Meteorology has severe weather warnings active for parts of New South Wales, Queensland and the Northern Territory, affecting over 8 million Australians. In the next 60 seconds, I am going to give you exact timing for when this weather hits the major centres. Chuck your location in the comments right now, because tomorrow I'll be breaking down personalised forecasts for every single area you mention. Sydney, showers developing late this arvo around 5 p.m, topping out at 28 degrees. Melbourne, the change hits earlier around 2 p.m, dropping from 31 down to 22 by evening. Brisbane, staying dry until Wednesday, 32 degrees today. Perth, clear skies, 35 degrees, but there's something brewing for the weekend. Adelaide, patchy rain this morning, clearing by lunch, 24 degrees. Hobart, mostly sunny, 18 degrees. Darwin, typical build-up conditions, 34 degrees with afternoon storms likely. Now here's the thing. The models are showing two completely different scenarios for the eastern seaboard from Thursday onwards, and this difference is pretty significant. Access is tracking a low pressure system crossing the Tasman, bringing solid rain to coastal New South Wales and southeast Queensland. But the European model reckons that low stays further offshore, which would mean we get the cloud and humidity without the decent rainfall. This 100-kilometre difference changes everything for cities like Newcastle, Wollongong, Coffs Harbour and the Gold Coast. Let me break down what is actually happening up there in the atmosphere. We've got a monsoon trough sitting across the top end, which is feeding moisture down through Queensland. At the same time, there is a cold front approaching from the Southern Ocean that'll clip South Australia and Victoria over the next 48 hours. The interesting bit is where these two systems interact, and that is still a bit uncertain at this stage. For regional and New South Wales, Wagga Wagga 30 degrees today, Dubbo 32, both dry through Wednesday. Albury 29 with late storm chance Thursday. The Riverina S been doing it tough with the dry. Orange 24 degrees, Bathurst 22, Tamworth 29, Armidale 23. Across Victoria, Geelong 26 degrees, Ballarat 22, Bendigo 28, Shepparton 30. That cold front arrives Western Victoria around midnight tonight. Mildura 32, Echuca 29, Wodonga 29, Queensland S, where things get interesting. The Coral Sea is showing signs of potential tropical development. Sea surface temperatures sitting at 29 degrees, warm enough for cyclone formation. Latest access runs show a tropical low forming around Thursday, roughly 600 kilometres northeast of Cairns. Whether this develops depends on wind shear. Gold Coast 30 degrees, Sunshine Coast 31, Townsville 33, Cairns 32 with 85% humidity, making it feel like 38, Toowoomba 26, Rockhampton 31, Mackay 32, Bundaberg 29. Check back tomorrow because that Coral Sea situation could change dramatically overnight. The thing is, we rewrite in the heart of cyclone season and the setup is there. I am not saying we definitely getting a cyclone, but the conditions are favourable and by tomorrow morning we'll have a much better idea of the track and intensity. Over in WA, Perth at 35 today, Bunbury 32, Geraldton 34. Here What S coming your way. There is a heat trough building across the interior and by Friday, Perth could be looking at 42 degrees. Yeah, 42. Kalgoorlie S already forecast for 44 degrees Thursday and that heat is going to push westward. The Fremantle doctor should provide some relief by late afternoon, but we're talking extreme heat warning territory here. Albany down south at 28, cooler thanks to the Southern Ocean influence. Broome up north at 35 with afternoon storms all week. The monsoon trough is active up there, so expect the typical build-up pattern. Karratha 37, Port Hedland 36, both getting their afternoon storms. South Australia, Mount Gambier 23, Whyalla 28, Port Augusta 31. Adelaide, that patchy rain I mentioned clears out by this arvo, then you've got a run of dry days through the weekend. The concern for SA is fire danger. With those dry northerlies coming Thursday and Friday, we could be looking at severe fire danger ratings across the Adelaide Hills and the mid-north. Port Lincoln 26, Ceduna 28, both staying dry. The York and Eyre Peninsulas looking at mid to high 20s through the week. Actually, let me clarify that fire danger situation. It's not just about temperature. It's the combination of heat, low humidity and wind speed. When Perth hits 42 degrees on Friday, if we get those 20 to 30 kilometre per hour easterlies, that is when it becomes dangerous. Total fire ban days are likely across southwestern WA and parts of SA later this week. This is not the weather to be complacent about. Tasmania, Launceston 17 degrees, Devonport 16. You are in the sweet spot this week. While the mainland is cooking, you've got mild temperatures and mostly clear skies. Hobart might see a shower Friday, Burnie 16, Queenstown 15, Northern Territory, Alice Springs 38 degrees today, dropping to 36 tomorrow, Katherine 34 with afternoon storms. Darwin, those build-up storms will be active Wednesday through Friday with heavy rainfall rates and frequent lightning. Newlanby 32, Jabiru 34. Right, about that eastern seaboard situation. The models have been flip-flopping on this for 3 days now, and here why it matters. If access is correct and that low tracks closer to the coast, Sydney could see 50 to 80 millimetres between Thursday night and Saturday morning. If the European model right and it stays offshore, Sydney might only get 10 to 20 mils of patchy drizzle. That is the difference between properly breaking the dry spell and just getting a token shower. Canberra, URA currently at 26 degrees, dropping to 14 overnight. Thursday looks like your wet day with rain developing morning, heaviest during the afternoon, clearing by evening. Could be anywhere from 20 to 50 millimetres depending on which model verifies. Let me walk you through the timeline. Wednesday morning, cold front crosses the Bight, hitting Adelaide 6 a.m, Melbourne 2 p.m, Sydney late evening. Thursday, coastal low develops off the Illawarra. Thursday afternoon through Friday, heaviest rain potential for coastal New South Wales and southeast Queensland. Saturday, system moves offshore. If that low develops further south, Newcastle and Central Coast cop the heaviest falls, maybe 80 to 120 millimetres. Further north, Brisbane and Sunshine Coast are in the firing line. Check back tomorrow because morning model runs will narrow down that position. For western New South Wales and southern Queensland, the drought continues. Burke 37 degrees, Charleville 36, both bone dry. The inland trough isn't producing meaningful rainfall. Long-range models aren't showing relief until mid-February. Dubbo, Parkes, Forbes, all in the low to mid-30s with negligible rain chances. Broken Hill 34, Cobar 36, Lightning Ridge 37. Perth heat is serious. Thursday 41 degrees, Friday 42, Saturday 39 before a cool change Sunday. 3 days above 40. Last time Perth had this was 2016 with significant bushfire activity. Fire danger rating Friday forecast severe across Perth Metro, extreme across Wheatbelt and Great Southern. Have your bushfire plan ready. Mandurah 40, Rockingham 39, Fremantle 37. There, one location that could cop something unexpected, and at Cairns. If that tropical low develops and tracks southwest, Cairns could see storm totals exceeding 200 millimetres Friday to Sunday. The infrastructure can handle heavy rain, but 200 mils in 48 hours would cause localised flooding. Bureau forecasts show moderate rain chances, but I reckon there is higher probability. Sea surface temperatures, weak wind shear, monsoon trough positioning all lining up. Innisfail, Tully, Cardwell, all in the potential impact zone. If you haven't already, chuck your city or region in the comments. I am going through every single one tomorrow and giving you detailed forecasts. Melbourne suburbs, Sydney regions, Brisbane areas, Perth localities, wherever you are, I'll cover it. The more specific you are, the better I can tailor the forecast. Right, let's talk about the weekend because that when things potentially get interesting. The models are currently showing a ridge of high pressure building across the southeast from Sunday. That would mean a return to dry, settled conditions for Vic, SA and southern New South Wales. But if that coastal low is slow moving, we could still have showers lingering along the coast through the weekend. For the north, Darwin and the top end, you read just in your normal wet season pattern. Storms every afternoon, clearing overnight, repeat. Humidity sitting around 80 to 90%, so it feels like 40 degrees, even though the actual temperature is only 34. The big wet is well and truly established up there. Western Queensland, Mount Isa 37 degrees, heat building to 40 by Friday. Overnight minimums mid to high 20s. Longreach 35, Birdsville 38. Across in NT, Tennant Creek 39 degrees, Alice Springs 38. The centre been hot for weeks with no relief in sight. Fire danger relatively low due to sparse vegetation, but heat still dangerous for outdoor work. Wollongong showers Thursday morning, heaviest Thursday night into Friday, easing Saturday. 26 today, dropping to 22 Thursday. Illawarra escarpment could see 70 to 100 millimetres. Central Coast and Newcastle similar. 28 today, 23 Thursday, showers increasing Thursday afternoon. Hunter region hasn't seen good rain in weeks, maybe 30 to 60 millimetres. Port Macquarie 27, Forster 26. Let me give you the fire danger situation across the country because it's not just WA that needs to be aware. Illawarra, severe fire danger for the western slopes and plains Thursday and Friday. Victoria, severe fire danger for the Mallee and northern districts Friday. SA, severe to extreme fire danger across agricultural areas Friday. Queensland, low to moderate fire danger thanks to recent rainfall in some areas. Tasmania, low fire danger. NT, low fire danger due to monsoon moisture. If you're in those high fire danger areas, make sure you know the plan. Are you staying and defending or are you leaving early? These 40-degree plus days with dry winds, that is when fires start and spread rapidly. It's not worth taking chances. The thing about this week's weather is the contrast. Darwin-S getting drenched with monsoonal storms, Perth-S baking under extreme heat, Hobart's enjoying mild sunny days, and Sydney-S stuck in humid limbo waiting for rain that might or might not arrive. That S Australia in summer, 4 different climates operating simultaneously, there is still a bit of uncertainty around that eastern seaboard rain, and I'll be honest, it's frustrating. You want me to give you exact rainfall totals, and I want to give you exact rainfall totals, but the models just aren't agreeing yet. Could go either way at this stage. By tomorrow, we should have better model agreement, and I'll be able to give you more confidence in the forecast. What I can tell you with confidence is that Thursday and Friday are your wet days if you're on the east coast. Wednesday stays mostly dry, apart from SA and Western Vissi. Saturday, we start to see improvement. Sunday looks like the return to sunshine for most areas, though Queensland might hold on to some showers. According to the latest runs, that weekend ridge I mentioned strengthens quite significantly by Monday. That would mean a complete pattern change, dry southwesterlies, clear skies, temperatures in the mid-20s for the southern capitals, but that S still 7 days away and a lot can change in 7 days. This is pretty unusual weather for late January. Normally, we do have the monsoon trough further south, bringing regular storms to Queensland and northern New South Wales. Instead, it's sitting up near the top end, leaving the southeast drier than typical. The Indian Ocean dipole has been neutral, so we haven't had that additional moisture source either. It's just been a weird summer overall. According to the latest runs, that weekend ridge I mentioned strengthens quite significantly by Monday. That would mean a complete pattern change, dry southwesterlies, clear skies, temperatures in the mid-20s for the southern capitals, but that S still 7 days away, and a lot can change in 7 days. This is pretty unusual weather for late January. Normally we do have the monsoon trough further south, bringing regular storms to Queensland and northern New South Wales. Instead, it is sitting up near the top end, leaving the southeast drier than typical. The Indian Ocean dipole has been neutral, so we haven't had that additional moisture source either. It's just been a weird summer overall. Check back tomorrow because I'll have the updated model runs, better clarity on that coastal low position, and I'll be answering all your location-specific questions from the comments. The overnight access run completes around 4 a.m, European model around 6 a.m, so by tomorrow, Arvo, I'll have all the latest data to work with. One more thing on that Perth heat. If you're in WA and you've got outdoor plans Friday or Saturday, genuinely reconsider them. 42 degrees is dangerous. Heat stroke is a real risk. If you must be outside, stay hydrated, take frequent breaks in the shade or aircon, and watch for symptoms of heat exhaustion. This applies to pets as well. Keep them inside during the hottest part of the day. Adelaide, after your morning rain clears Wednesday, you've got Thursday and Friday in the low 30s, then that heat spike Saturday with 36 degrees forecast. The cool change arrives Saturday night, dropping you back to 26 on Sunday. The Adelaide Hills will be cooler throughout, probably 5 to 7 degrees below the metro temperatures. Geelong and the Bellarine Peninsula, you are tracking a couple of degrees cooler than Melbourne throughout the week. 24 degrees today, 20 degrees Thursday with the cold front, back to 26 by the weekend. The Surf Coast is your best bet if you want to escape the heat. Sea breeze keeps things pleasant. Right, I need to wrap this up, but here is what you need to remember. Eastern seaboard rain arrives Thursday, heaviest Thursday night into Friday, but the exact location and intensity is still uncertain. Perth extreme heat Friday, dangerous fire weather conditions. Northern Australia, typical wet season storms. Tasmania, pleasant and mild. Check back tomorrow for the updated forecast with better model agreement. Seriously, drop your location in the comments. I am going through every single one tomorrow and giving you the most detailed forecast I can. Whether you in a capital city or a tiny regional town, I'll cover it. That's what this channel is about, getting you the weather information you actually need for your specific area. Tomorrow S video will be up around 5 p.m, so I'll have the full day S model runs to analyse. We should know by then whether that coastal low is tracking closer or further from shore, whether Perth S heat is going to be worse or better than currently forecast, and whether that Coral Sea development is actually going to become something cyclonic. Weather forecasting isn't an exact science, especially at 5 to 7 days out, but I'll give you the most accurate information available based on the latest data. That's all I can promise. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there, especially if you are in those high fire danger areas, and I'll see you tomorrow with